introduce yourselves, all right? Because we have no idea who the fuck you are. I know what I know, and that's all I know. And what I know is this. There's only two things that smell like fish. And one of them, fish. The other one, Ring of Honor, New Japan locker room.
Ooh.
How you doing? And if that went over your fucking head, you marks, I'll spoon feed it to you, okay? Go flick your bangs. Bunch of fucking pussies. It's your fucking pussies. Okay, what are you gonna do about it? Nothing.
Delete! This is mine.
I seen Enzo put that shit on YouTube. I'm following him on social media. And he tweeted about it. And he's going back and forth with Tama Tonga. And I watched this promo. And I immediately knew I had to use a clip or several of the clips that he had in that promo for the podcast, man, because it's just so hilarious that you can't help but watch what he's going to say. And this is what I stated all that time ago when they split him and Cass up. That entire feud. And I don't want to make this a long-winded fucking spiel on Enzo Amore. But WWE had something in both of them that I don't really think Vince McMahon understood. Triple H understood it because he used them to their full potential in NXT. They were, at one point, NXT's most popular act. You could even probably make a case for that on the main roster. That they were the main roster's most popular act. People were comparing them to the New Age fucking Outlaws. That's a pretty big fucking comparison right there. That's high praise. New Age Outlaws weren't anything special in the ring, but they brought something to the table more so than any other team in that era. They commanded your attention because of how good Road Dogg and Billy Gunn were as far as just emitting that energy to the crowd. It's infectious. The crowd sees that from the performer and they want to be a part of it. And literally everything that they do and everything that they say, the crowd is going to hang on to everything. WWE had that same thing in both Enzo and Cass. And what do? WWE was in this phase at the time for breaking up tag teams. American Alpha, broken up. Enzo and Cass, broken up. For whatever reason. The reason cited, I believe, was that WWE found there was more money in Big Cass as a singles guy than Enzo Amore. What the fuck does that have to do with them being a tag team? You didn't even make any money with them as a tag team, and you're already looking to break them up and make money on Big Cass, who was not even close to being ready for a position like that on his own. And then Enzo Amore, you're going to put him on his own on 205 Live, where people are on that brand, wrestlers on that brand, legitimately are on that show to fucking wrestle. You're going to put one of the worst wrestlers that you got on 205 Live to sink intentionally. And then you want to give him the Cruiserweight Championship and embarrass the whole fucking division because Vince McMahon found no value in any of the performers over there. And he thought, well, I'll take Monday Night Raw's most popular act and inject that to 205 Live. Maybe more people will watch 205 Live. It didn't work out that way. You're mixing up what people want to see. You want to watch that shit? You watch Raw. People who want to watch Raw wrestling talent, you watch 205 Live. So when you got one crossing over to the other, everybody's going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? You're taking away from what those guys are building by injecting something that they don't want. It was ridiculous. Then they ended up feuding, right? They feuded before Enzo won his Cruiserweight Championship. Cass got hurt. Imagine if they didn't feud. Imagine if they didn't get broken up. Cass would have never been injured. He would have never came back and had that garbage feud with Daniel Bryan that went nowhere, which ultimately led to his termination. Again, I don't want to make a big spiel about Enzo and Cass, but man, the money in them together that WWE just left on the, not even left on the table, they took it and fucking threw it in a dumpster fire. Not one reign as WWE Tag Team Champions. Imagine them now. I mean, they won't be unfiltered like that. You're not going to be seeing Enzo throw F-bombs all over the place. But Jesus Christ. One thing I hate in pro wrestling is something being done that makes absolutely no sense. It's like you're not even thinking. You got to know what you got. Enzo was terrible. Cass was not ready for being a big guy. He was not going to be the next Diesel. The money was in them being together. And now they're in Ring of Honor or whatever the fuck they're doing with New Japan. And you know what? I might not be the biggest fan of Enzo Amore, but man, the guy can fucking talk. The guy commands your attention. No matter what you think of his promo, if it's too cringe for you or if it's too rant-filled with a bunch of F-bombs, why do you watch me? Why do you watch me? Do I command your attention? Do I curse a little bit more than I should have? Or that, do I curse a little bit more than the other people in the community? Yeah. Yeah, I do. It's not a gimmick. If I'm out with my friends, I'm going to be talking the same way I'm talking to you now. When I'm invested in something, I'm going to give you all of me. Enzo is looking at this as a new lease on life. And you know what? I'm supportive of what he's doing. Again, the guy commands your attention. The guy is too good at what he does. Their strengths were him on the microphone and Cass being the big dominating guy that's going to fucking kick your ass. How you couldn't find money in that is absolutely fucking mind-boggling. Unbelievable. I don't know what they're doing with Ring of Honor. I know there was a little back and forth where the New Japan guys were not filled in on them jumping the barricade at the G1. Clearly, I would be upset about that too. Because here I am, winning dual championships at Madison Square Garden. Everybody's focus is on these two guys who are not even signed with the company, or at least they didn't know that. They thought this was a legit fucking what the fuck. Meanwhile, Ring of Honor knew what was going on, but they didn't clue in anybody else. Which led everybody on the New Japan side to say Ring of Honor's a joke. I don't know, man. Money left on the table, and I'm excited to see where those guys go. I really am. Anyway, this is Off the Script. I'm excited to see where this podcast takes us today. I got a lot of news, man. Becky Lynch, double booked. Don't know why. WWE promised us fresh matchups. Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch, man. I can't fucking wait. Becky double booked at Money in the Bank. Is there a possible unifying of the women's titles coming? I hope so. I doubt it, but I hope so. Speaking of Charlotte, her and Andrade are quote-unquote engaged. It made mainstream attention. We'll go over that today, plus more Money in the Bank news, as well as The Undertaker and Kurt Angle pulled from Starrcast. But WWE made them a counteroffer for pulling The Undertaker and Kurt Angle. Memorial Day weekend. We'll go over that right here on the podcast, man. Make sure you guys follow me on social media at JD from NY206 on both the Twitter and the Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Make sure you guys support the podcast on Patreon, patreon.com/JD from NY206. It is completely optional. It's up to you if you want to show your appreciation for what I do here week in and week out. And it's a great way to get exclusive content not available on YouTube. Thank you guys so very much for all your support. Speaking of hitting that subscribe button, man, I want to make sure you guys understand my goals, and I would really appreciate if you help me get there, man. Now, Salrex generously mentioned 115,000 before Double or Nothing weekend. I don't think that's going to happen, but I would love to get to 110,000 before Double or Nothing weekend. I'm looking to get media passes to go out there and cover the event exclusively here on the channel for you guys all weekend, including the official review after the show is over. So if you guys want to hit that subscribe button, if you're new around here, please do so, man. The best content in the community as far as Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, NXT, and this flagship podcast every single weekend right here on Off the Script. Thank you guys so very much for all of that. Make sure you guys go, if you're going to Vegas, I would love to meet you, by the way, number one. If I'm going to be out there, I'll let you guys know within the week, because Starrcast's email correspondence is fucking horrendous. I'm in full support of whatever they're doing out there and with All Elite Wrestling, but man, their correspondence is fucking terrible. But if you're going to be out there, and I'm going to be out there, which I'll let you guys know in a couple of days, hopefully, by the end of the weekend, I want to see you guys wearing JD's Elite, man. Own one of the top-selling t-shirts in the YWC. This is my number one selling t-shirt ever. JD's Elite on bonfire.com, the official home of JD's Elite. Link will be down in the description. If you guys want to go get yours today, I would really, really appreciate it, man. Thank you guys so very much for all your support on the t-shirt. If you guys want to go check out anything else that I did on the channel, I would really appreciate it. Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, NXT, Bray Wyatt on Monday Night Raw, the top story. Kevin Owens turning heel on Kofi Kingston. Roman Reigns in another battle with the Authority, putting everybody to sleep. Those were the top stories on Tuesday. Adam Cole and Undisputed Era have a big problem, bro, in the form of Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle was actually pulled off of all NXT live events moving forward. Don't know what is going on there. I hope he is not injured too badly. And then off the script, we got Bray Wyatt's new gimmick possibly being canceled. WWE's going along with it, but it could be canceled because WWE corporate sponsors and stockholders are not happy with the gimmick at all because it sends a bad message. Whatever the fuck that message is, I don't know. But this gimmick is certainly what WWE needs right now because there's nothing for us to invest our time in right now with whatever they're doing. Also, CM Punk, if you guys want to go back and check out that CM Punk story, my full thoughts on that, and Dustin Rhodes versus Cody at Double or Nothing. Everything you need is linked right in the annotation that you see in the top right corner. Drop it down. You'll see that little I in the top right corner. Everything you need is going to be right there, man. I would really appreciate all your support on that stuff. Big week on the channel. And it will continue to be a big week going into Double or Nothing weekend and Money in the Bank. Harrys.com/scripts. This is your opportunity to get something for free just for listening to the show, man. Harrys.com/script. And every time I talk about Harrys, people want to know why. Why do I talk about Harrys? Why do I use Harrys? Why does WWE have failing ratings on Monday night? I gave you the why yesterday on Off the Script. But it's a little easier for me to tell you why I use Harrys. Well, I use it, so do 10 million other people. Harrys.com/script. Join the 10 million who have tried Harrys and claimed their trial offer. Harrys founders were tired of paying for razors that were overpriced, overdesigned. They knew a great shave didn't come from gimmicks like vibrating heads, flex balls, or handles that look like spaceships. These are tactics that companies used in the market to raise prices for decades. They fixed all that by combining a simple, clean design with quality, durable blades at a great price. Harry's bought a world-class blade factory in Germany that's been making quality blades for over 95 years. They've received over 20,000, that's a lot, man, 20,000 5-star reviews on Trustpilot and Google alone. If Harry's was a New Japan IWGP Heavyweight Championship match and Dave Meltzer was giving out his ratings, it would be 5-star. All Harry's blades come with a 100% quality guarantee. If you don't love your shave, let them know and they will give you a full refund. What you're going to get. This is what you're going to get. A razor handle. Choice of color is yours. Orange, the evergreen, or the navy blue. 5-blade razor with a lubricating strip and a trimmer blade. Rich lathering shave gel. 2-ounce bottle. It soothes, it hydrates, it smells fantastic. And It's going to leave a nice little tingling sensation on your face, man. Me, I got sensitive skin, so I feel it, and it feels great. And you're going to get a travel blade cover as well if you're a man on the go. If you're staying over your girl's house, if you're traveling for work, you need a blade, you can take it with you with the blade cover, man. Or if you're a guy like me who just likes to keep it in the bathroom, looking all nice on my bathroom sink, it looks great just sitting there with the rest of my Harry products, man. Listeners of my show can redeem their trial set at harrys.com/script. Redeem your offer today and let them know that I sent you to help support Off the Script. Once again, that is harrys.com/script. All right, man, let's start this podcast off talking about Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch defending the Raw and SmackDown women's titles at Money in the Bank. I still don't know why or who in WWE thought this was a good decision. But she's defending the Raw women's title against Lacey Evans, and then the SmackDown women's title against Charlotte Flair at Money in the Bank. Now, this is a new era, the McMahon era, and we're supposed to get fresh matchups. By the way, the Superstar shakeup just happened, and we're still on Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Meanwhile, you got a roster of Mickie James and Bayley, right? Ember Moon, Kairi Sane, Asuka, and WWE opts to go with Charlotte. This is why people call her Charlotte Reigns. Every single opportunity when she smells the fucking fact that that title is on somebody else, she's automatically the number one contender. It's ridiculous. And, you know, I watched a interview with Tony Khan with Chris Van Vliet. And I heard him speaking about wins and losses and how he wants to differentiate AEW from any other promotion. And I love this aspect, and I really, really, really hope that AEW lives up to that aspect. Because WWE hasn't a fucking clue as to what they should do on a week-to-week basis. It's pretty much them putting out content for the sake of filling 2 hours of TV time, whether it makes sense or not. I don't know who in their right mind, A, wants to see Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch again, because how the fuck can they live up to what they did already? B, how does it make any sense? It doesn't make any sense. Charlotte Flair won the SmackDown Live title. She went into the main event. By all means, the titles were on the line. She came out empty-handed. It was a winner-take-all match. WWE wants to script the aspect of Charlotte. Well, I wasn't pinned. Becky pinned Ronda. I want my shot. I'm sorry. What happened to the no rematch clause? You lose your title, get to the back of the fucking line. WWE's got Charlotte out there telling Bayley to get to the back of the line and completely ignoring the rematch clause or the fact that it doesn't exist anymore. I don't know if Shane McMahon or WWE realized that Shane McMahon did say this on live television. I don't understand it. And on top of that, which is the most pathetic aspect of all, they made Charlotte Flair sound like a blithering idiot because the way that they had her go about this promo, it's as if she didn't understand the rules of a winner-take-all situation. And then it goes right into the mockery. Why do you deserve a title shot? Well, I'm Charlotte Flair. Get to the back of the line, Bayley. This is my title. Throwing shit out there to the general public and plebeians like everybody, the casuals watching. It's going to go right over their head. But what Charlotte Flair stated is actually the legit truth. Why is she getting a title shot, you're asking? For the people watching me, at least you have a brain. Why is she getting a title shot, folks? It's because whatever she said is exactly what they do in the creative meetings. Who do we put against Becky Lynch? How about Charlotte Flair? Why is that? Someone's going to question. And then some fucking executive is going to be like, well, she's Charlotte Flair. Why not? And then some other idiot who's actually got a half a brain, well, sir, we have Ember Moon and Bayley and Asuka and Kairi Sane on the roster. We got a lot of talent, and this is a superstar shakeup. Maybe we should go in a different direction. Well, they're not Charlotte Flair. I don't get it. I really, really, really don't understand it. Then you got Lacey Evans on the other hand, who's done absolutely nothing. This Lacey Evans brigade that's come out on social media, who simply are the dumbest fucking people I think I have ever seen. I don't know who's dumber. Alexa Bliss fans, Sasha Banks fans, Lacey Evans fans are creeping up there. The Iconics fans. You people fucking sicken me to no end. You simply look. I can't wait to see all those fucking people on social media when the Iconics lose those titles to Asuka and Kairi Sane. Then their defense will be, well, we won them at WrestleMania. Well, your team's a fucking joke. The titles look absolutely terrible on them. How do you feel about your team killing the new women's tag team titles, making them completely irrelevant, to the point where whoever has them next is pretty much up against an uphill battle, bringing those titles back to relevancy? So I can't wait for those titles to be off. Then you'll cite the reason, oh, well, they won them at WrestleMania. We got what we wanted. Yeah, you got what you wanted. Never again will you get that moment. So there you go. Done. Just go. Go away. Lacey Evans fans are claiming she deserves it. This is going to be great. She deserves it. Her military background and what a role model she is for women. As if they're really believing what is going on here. When did we ever hear anything about Lacey Evans? Has WWE filled me in on Lacey Evans' background? Did they paint this picture of a wholesome, hard-working woman on WWE television? Or did WWE do what they do best? Present a blonde who is tall with long legs and big tits, who's done absolutely nothing to get where she's going. That's exactly what they did. When Becky says Charlotte 2.0, that's not Becky trying to be cool or get a pop out of a crowd. This is exactly what's going on. Charlotte uses her political pull. I mean, look at how much pull Charlotte has if the fact of the matter is Andrade was on Raw, and within a week, he's back on SmackDown Live. Who do you think did that? WWE had every intention to put Andrade over on Monday Night Raw, and Charlotte said, no. We're going to move him back to her on SmackDown Live. So if she's got that much political pull to make a fucking roster change, imagine what she's going to do for herself. This is ridiculous. Becky 2.0, nobody's Becky, but Lacey Evans 2.0 or Charlotte 2.0, this is what Becky is claiming Lacey Evans is. It's exactly what it is. It's not something to be cool in a promo. This is what they do. Charlotte used her political pull. Lacey Evans is using her political pull. Maybe she didn't use anything, and maybe there's a fucking horny scumbag in WWE Creative who's like, oh, look at this. Alexa Bliss, move on over, honey. We got the new flavor of the fucking year. Lacey Evans. But still, it's not a good look. It's not a good look for WWE. And Becky Lynch. This is not a good look for Becky Lynch either. I don't know where in WWE this is a bright idea. It's as if WWE is getting back at us for wanting Becky Lynch. Because you all know the reason that Becky Lynch was put in the main event was because of us. It's not anything that she did. We wanted Becky. We cheered for Becky. We pushed for it on social media. Everything was Becky Lynch. This was not in the plans, folks. It was always coming out of last year's WrestleMania. It was always going to be Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. The fact that WWE had their plans fucked up by the fans, and they couldn't get their dream match of Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. The fact that they had to include Becky Lynch. Now they're getting back at us for changing their desired plans. You want Becky Lynch? You got her. You want her more now? We're going to give you Becky Lynch until you don't like her anymore. We're going to give you Becky Lynch until you get sick of her because you ruined our... It's like WWE's a vindictive fucking lover. You left me for that hoe. Now I'm going to get back at you. I'm going to slash your tires. I'm going to fucking I'm gonna, I don't know, whatever vindictive lovers do. I'm gonna ruin your social media image. I'm gonna spread lies about you so that nobody likes you anymore. You know, that's exactly what WWE is doing. They're like a vindictive lover. You wanted Becky? We gave you Becky. Now we're gonna make you sick of Becky. And on top of that, we're gonna give the title to a fucking blonde bimbo who's done nothing to get where she's going. Am I wrong? I'm not wrong, folks. I'm not wrong. It's just the fact that you're too stupid, and many in the community are too stupid to see that. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Lacey Evans. She has some potential. But we really haven't seen anything as far as Lacey Evans goes. One match with Natty really doesn't signify to me. Title shot. What happened to building someone up as a believable character? You do know that the fact of the matter is, if you continue pushing people like you are Lacey Evans, that it will backfire on you. It's going to reverse itself. People will see this. It'll be the Roman Reigns effect all over. It happened with Charlotte. It happened with Reigns. You've seen it for 5 fucking years. It's going to happen with Lacey Evans. Fans don't want to be given something that they don't believe in. And here WWE is giving Lacey Evans a title shot simply because she's blonde. I don't know what to tell you, folks. The overwhelming aspect of Becky Lynch wrestling twice in one night is not good for Becky Lynch. Because I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I was for Becky Lynch, and it's as if WWE got what they wanted out of Becky Lynch. And the way I perceive it is, with Ronda Rousey not there, they don't believe in Becky Lynch carrying those 2 titles and really building the division around her. They don't trust her to carry the division without Ronda Rousey there. So everything that Ronda Rousey, I see it right now. It's like I'm a fucking fortune teller. I see it right now. Ronda Rousey not there for a year. Whenever she wants to come back, Rumble time, WrestleMania time. The entirety of Ronda Rousey's groundwork, the blueprint that Ronda Rousey laid out for everybody with the women's division, WWE is going to take it, crumble it up, and throw it away. Because whatever she did, WWE is not going to adhere to that. They're not going to build upon that. And they're already reverting right back to their old ways. They're looking to put at least one of those titles on Lacey or Charlotte. I don't know which one. But one of those titles is going back to its own brand. Becky will not be Becky 2 belts by the end of WrestleMania. And I don't understand why you have Becky Lynch showing up on Raw and SmackDown every single week. Every single week. The fact of the matter is, they didn't think about the negatives of what a winner-takes-all match does. They thought, oh, Becky's going to look cool with 2 belts. Oh, Becky's going to be the flag bearer. Look, she's got the 2 belts. But what is it really doing? You're overexposing Becky Lynch to a point where you are to blame, first and foremost, of her downfall, because everyone is seeing it. Everyone is feeling it. Becky ain't the same. Everybody thought Becky 2 belts was cool. Oh, look, she won both titles at WrestleMania. Downward spiral after WrestleMania. Do you care about Becky Lynch like you did before WrestleMania? I don't. And I know you don't as well. So this is a terrible situation for not only Becky Lynch, but for the entire division. The entire division. Becky Lynch is slated to defend those 2 titles at Money in the Bank. This was all by design, says Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. They report that the idea behind Becky Lynch defending both titles is for her to drop one of them at the end of the night without looking weak. Here's an idea. Why don't you fucking take the titles and merge them? You know? Make like you're playing The Legend of Zelda and you're out in Hyrule and you're fucking gathering fruit and nuts and all this other shit. And you're sitting down by a fucking campfire and you're mixing all this shit together and you're making a nice fucking hot soup on a cold Hyrule evening. Fuse them together. WWE doesn't think that's the best idea. But here we are again, and WWE isn't taking the full advantage of the divisions that they have. You're going to see the same women over and over again. Do you want to see Alicia Fox on fucking Monday Night Raw in a garbage segment? And by the way, clowns, Becky was not the one who botched that. That was all Alicia Fox because it looked like she was legitimately not even trying. I don't know what the fuck happened there with that head scissor takedown or Hurricane Rana she was trying to do. Bullshit. It's complete bullshit. But people want to cite that Becky is botchamania. How could you have anything come out of that when she's in the ring with a proverbial fucking loser? Merge the titles together. At least at that point, we would be a little bit more open to seeing fresh talent. The fact that Charlotte is on SmackDown and more than likely is going to be the SmackDown Women's Champion because, you know, WWE wants to pad that and make that reign double digits. 10 title reigns. You don't think that's going to happen? Come on. I'm going with Charlotte over Lacey. Lacey's going to look strong, but Lacey's going to be the one to do enough damage to the point where Charlotte's going to reap the benefits, win the title, and Lacey eventually is going to take that title off of Becky Lynch. Somewhere down the line. It's too soon for that to happen. WWE believes so much in Lacey Evans, giving her a loss is going to be the same as Ricochet taking a loss. They are similar in WWE's eyes. If Lacey Evans loses to Becky Lynch, it's not really going to do anything as far as WWE is concerned. They'll keep the title on Becky, or the titles on Becky. Lacey Evans will lay her out, beat her up at the end of the match. She'll be too weak. She won't be a full strength going into the match with Charlotte. Boom! Charlotte's the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. Charlotte takes the title back to SmackDown. Becky stays on Raw because they need help over there because their division is fucking terrible with Sasha Banks being out. And then Lacey eventually will get her rematch and, I don't know, probably be given another rematch. She won't work for it. She'll work for it in other ways, if you know what I mean. But that's exactly how I see things playing out. This is ridiculous. So Lynch working twice on the show seems like a gimmick to feature her. Overexposure. Not good. And it allows her to drop a title while having an excuse of being injured in the first two matches. Now, it goes on to say, it wouldn't be surprising at all to see Becky Lynch win both of her matches. Then whoever wins Money in the Bank could win the briefcase and cash in at the end of the night, taking one of her titles. At that point, I don't know how that's going to work. If Lynch is set to be on Raw, as we all expect her to be, then it would stand to reason that a SmackDown Live superstar will be winning Money in the Bank this year, or Charlotte, in the other option, could win the match against Becky and take the title itself back to SmackDown on Sunday night. So we'll have to wait and see what WWE does with all of this. WWE could easily swerve us, but I don't think they are really doing anything as far as positive goes for the women's division. Double booking Becky Lynch is not what you need to do. And this goes to show you that they use the winner-take-all bullshit as merely a gimmick without thinking of where they want to go after WrestleMania. This shit, and I mentioned yesterday, I used the analogy of Scotch tape and fucking Elmer's glue. This shit is coming apart at the seams. Bullshit. Becky Lynch did not need to be double booked at Money in the Bank, and WWE could have had so much more creativity as far as making the women's division mean something after Ronda Rousey, and they're going right back to the same bullshit that we're getting before Ronda Rousey even made the impact that she did. Come on. Speaking of unifying the titles, Mike Johnson commented during PW Insider Elite Audio where he explained that WWE is not unifying the titles. Therefore, it is highly likely that Lynch could simply lose one of the belts or one of the titles. Belts apparently is back in the okay vocabulary for WWE. But he says this, and I quote, "They made it clear those belts are not unified, so it's like Rob Van Dam having the WWE and the ECW titles at the same time." Well, not really. I mean, this is two different brands. I mean, it's the same company, but you're not going to merge the WWE and ECW titles and make a fucking new title out of both of those. This is legitimately an easier option for WWE to do here with the Raw and SmackDown women's titles. Just merge them and make a new belt. A whole new belt. Black with the gold. You know, that's exactly what I thought was coming. And WWE, of course, want to go the lame route and not have any fun without anything. But he mentions Rob Van Dam having the ECW and the WWE titles at the same time in 2006. They could technically have Becky lose one, but not the other title. On an interesting addition to the story with an ironic twist, considering this was reported on April 20th, RVD was busted for possession of marijuana in Ohio. I had to put that in there, speaking of Rob Van Dam. RVD was busted on 420 for possession of marijuana in Ohio, which caused him to lose both of those titles in a very short time when he won them. So, I love the fact that RVD won those two titles, is on top of the fucking world. Come 420, busted. I believe he was with Sabu at the time in 2006. Busted for marijuana. They took the titles off of him, and I believe they gave the title back to Edge, if I'm not mistaken. So there you go. That was one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time. ECW One Night Stand at Hammerstein Ballroom in 2006. Beautiful fucking pay-per-view, man. So, that is the situation there with the unifying. It's not happening. And then Becky Lynch, my thoughts on Becky and Charlotte and Lacey Evans. And again, just as a little asterisk, you want to know why Sasha Banks doesn't come back to WWE. And then there's rumors of WWE putting Sasha Banks on SmackDown Live. Man, I can't wait to relive those Sasha and Charlotte matches. Fucking ridiculous. This company does not know the words new, exciting, fresh. They love their formulaic, bland, stale, just ordinary bullshit that they go through on a week-to-week basis. It's sad. It's sad at the lack of creativity that is WWE, Raw, and SmackDown. I don't understand it. Speaking of Charlotte Flair and Andrade Cien Almas, their relationship is getting mainstream attention. This, I mentioned yesterday, this is greater than any title Andrade could ever win in WWE. This is greater than Money in the Bank, because he's my pick to win Money in the Bank. This is the best career move that the man has ever made. You know, he's following in the footsteps of Triple H. Triple H married into the family, married Stephanie McMahon, has beautiful children with Stephanie McMahon. He's now part of the family. He's set to take over when Vince goes away, which is soon, I hope. Please. Right? This is a career move. He legitimately is moving on in to wrestling royalty. WWE loves Charlotte Flair. She is absolutely untouchable. Andrade knows this, and now he, by association, is already feeling the effects. Charlotte wants him on SmackDown Live. We'll take him from Raw. We just draft him to Raw. We move him over to SmackDown because Charlotte Flair said so. How else is that going to affect Andrade's career? Well, how about him winning Money in the Bank? Charlotte Flair could be like a fucking magic genie for Andrade. I don't know if that's the case or going to be the case, but yeah, one could imagine and think that this is going to end up being the best career move for him and give him the most lucrative WWE career possible. Now, if you didn't know, Charlotte and Andrade are a real-life couple. I'm sorry for all the people who are heartbroken about Charlotte Flair, all you Charlotte Flair stans out there who admire her on social media and are on top of every social media post, praying and camping out at WWE events across the United States in hopes of Charlotte Flair joining you and becoming your girlfriend. I'm sorry to disappoint you, you virgin, pimply-faced geek. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. By the way, there are much more attractive women in WWE than Charlotte Flair. Now, Toni Storm is one of them. She's my bae. But to each his own. So, get over your depression. Move on to somebody else. I'm hearing... I was going to say Bayley. Bayley's not even on the market. Nobody. Who's... you look at the WWE locker room, and who's not taken? Seriously, who's not... Maybe Alicia Fox. Alicia Fox is not taken. I mean, who wants to deal with that drunken behavior? There you go. There you go. Anyway, moving on here. Charlotte Flair and Andrade are a real-life couple. And Andrade was moved to Raw. We all know that as part of the Superstar shakeup. Then he moved right back to SmackDown Live. Flip-flopping brands had Flair's blueprints all over it. And Brad Shepard confirmed these assumptions by reporting that Flair was used backstage to pull Andrade away from Raw. This was her political pull. To use her power to take Andrade back to to SmackDown Live. Now, TMZ actually picked up on this story. However, they were not able to get anyone to confirm or deny their supposed engagement. It said that Flair and Andrade are getting serious, which is something we all knew due to previous reports. The interesting part is that they couldn't get anyone to tell them that Charlotte and Andrade weren't engaged. So there you go. Now, other reports claim the plan was to announce their engagement next month. Now, I don't know where they were. They might have been on vacation in Puerto Rico or the Dominican Republic, somewhere in the Caribbean. And Charlotte was photographed in several photos with a big ring on her finger. So we don't know what's going on there. But Andrade getting moved to SmackDown Live is obviously, a move I'm okay with, because I felt like he didn't get any momentum on SmackDown Live and they immediately moved him to Raw. But having him off of Raw actually hurts Monday nights. That's how big of a player he is. The fact that Flair has been rocking this ring on her finger, on her left hand, which was photographed, you go to Instagram and you could see it, is a pretty big clue. People are not stupid. And people are fucking modern day Columbos on social media. Investigative work all over the place, man. You ain't getting nothing by these people. So, Flair and Andrade made their relationship official in public while attending the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony together during WrestleMania weekend. Flair issued a statement to Pro Wrestling Sheet where she said and made it clear to everybody that they are currently not engaged. She says this: "Don't believe everything you read online unless you read that I'm the most decorated women's wrestler of all time, because that is a fact. No, we are currently not engaged." It is also said Ric Flair and others in WWE think this relationship is moving too fast, but that seems to be fine for both Andrade and Charlotte Flair because they are both on the blue brand and seem quite happy. I understand that aspect, and that is a father's main intuition. You can't really blame Ric Flair for that, seeing that Charlotte has had terrible relationships in the past, and she's not really one to have a fruitful relationship with anybody. But, minus that, which is a given for a father, WWE clearly has a lot invested in Charlotte. They don't want her to have this all go to her head too quickly where it takes away from her professional career, which I don't think it is, because I always look at Charlotte, being that consummate professional. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of Charlotte, you respect the woman's work ethic. She's not going to let anything like this ruin her career. She's far too into this thing, and she knows where she's going with it. But the fact of the matter is, WWE is concerned on that aspect. I don't really think Andrade is in a situation where he is going to end up like everybody else in Charlotte's past. Andrade, no matter how unhappy he was, in WWE for the fact that they weren't using him, and the fact that he felt underappreciated and underutilized, the fact that he was telling people like Dragon Lee and Roosh to not come into WWE, that it's not all that it's cracked up to be. He was very unhappy to a point where he threatened to leave twice. He vocally expressed that he wanted to leave twice. Once to those guys, and then before, when he was in NXT, to Alberto Del Rio, who convinced him to stay. So here he is. And with this move, I honestly think, A, he found happiness. B, it's great for him that he found happiness. It's great for us that this potentially could get him to stay in WWE, be around Charlotte. And the fact that we all find Andrade to be one of the futures of WWE, this is nothing more than a brilliant career move. So if he's associated with Charlotte, how great is he going to end up in the long run just by being married to her? They are eventually going to see him in the same light that they see her. Potentially, I hope. Fingers crossed. This is a great thing. And hey, it's none of our business what they do or if they're engaged. If they're engaged, great. Maybe the cretins on social media ruined a great moment, but this is what you get for being in the public spotlight. And they want to announce it formally on their own. They're not going to do it now. They have a plan and a date and a situation and a time when they want to announce it to the public. They're going to abide by that, no matter what these fucking clowns on social media do or find out. I'm happy for them. And I honestly think, as far as Ric Flair goes, we can all agree that he is just being a protective father. But other than that, let's give these two privacy and happiness and let them continue doing what they usually do on a week-to-week basis. We should not be meddling in their personal affairs. Who cares? So I'm happy for both Charlotte and Andrade, and I hope it ends up being great. And a great career move for Andrade and both of them in the end. That's all I care about. The creative direction WWE has planned for Money in the Bank and their ladder matches. This is very interesting, seeing that last year's Money in the Bank ladder matches and winners were fucking terrible. The winners itself were so disappointing. Now, I still get fucking chills in a bad way to see Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss win those Money in the Bank briefcases. Alexa Bliss cashed in that night and won the Women's Championship. So, I don't know how you can look at that and say, man, that was a great decision. Because it wasn't. It was pretty much WWE saying, yep, we got our small, petite blonde here. We're going to give her the briefcase and make an impact with that being the main event of the show. So, the creative direction this year, supposedly, has changed. There's a lot WWE can do with the Money in the Bank pay-per-view and the 2 ladder matches. And we will eventually see 2 male and female superstars with guaranteed title shots coming out of the event. WrestleVotes is reporting that there is a push within creative to make a big star this year. Should be absolutely no problem doing that. You got Andrade, you got Ricochet, you got Lars Sullivan, you got Aleister Black. You got a lot of talent on these shows that you could instantly make a new superstar. I don't know how WWE is going to go about it, but if it's anything like the ladder match at TakeOver New Orleans, all 6 of those guys came out looking like superstars. That is the same fucking thing that they need to do here. Now, the last year's Money in the Bank winners on the men's side didn't come off looking all that amazing. Baron Corbin lost his briefcase, and Braun Strowman lost his briefcase. So that's 2 back-to-back years in which the Money in the Bank briefcase holder lost their briefcase and their title shot. Now, why would you go and do that when the cash-in is one of the most unpredictable, great moments of the entire year? Instead of building somebody who you thought was going to be the next world champion, they gave it to Baron Corbin, embarrassed him in the worst way possible. Braun Strowman, embarrassed completely. He cashed in. First of all, they fucked Braun Strowman up before they even had an idea of him losing the briefcase. Because out of that, he was a babyface. Then they had to turn him heel because Roman just beat Brock Lesnar and there was no heel on Monday Night Raw to feud with Roman Reigns. So they turned Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman into a heel babyface dynamic. And then they fought at Hell in a Cell. And then at the end of that match, it was a no contest because Brock Lesnar said, fuck you, I'm taking this and I'm going to ruin everything. He ripped off the door, Braun Strowman cashed in, and he failed. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Instead of giving it to somebody and having that unpredictability of a cash-in on a Raw or a SmackDown, really making headlines and building your next world champion with a ton of momentum behind him, the company machine behind him. WWE took the last 2 Money in the Bank winners and treated them like complete fucking jokes. Strong push within the creative team to really have this year's men's Money in the Bank winner coming out of the whole process looking like a major star. The feeling backstage is that they have completely blown the winners and cash-ins in the last 2 years. I find it how they look back at that now and say, yeah, we fucked up. You didn't know you were fucking up when you were actually going through and executing those cash-ins? Give me a break. It would be nice if WWE makes another big star this year at Money in the Bank. The roster could use as many top names as they can at this point. We'll have to wait and see who could possibly be getting that push. Monday, we'll find out who is going to be in both the men's and the women's Money in the Bank. I don't know if Alexa is going to strictly announce Raw superstars or if she's going to do Raw and SmackDown Live. We'll see. But man, WWE needs to go into this with the NXT TakeOver New Orleans ladder match as a blueprint for the men. I don't know who is going to be in the women's, but if I had to pick a winner of the women's Money in the Bank this year, Ruby Riott or Ember Moon. No question. No question. Now, it's probably better on a heel, but if you're going to go with a babyface Ember Moon cashing in that briefcase is a great move. The woman has done nothing since being called up. Absolutely nothing. How you have a woman like Ember Moon on this roster and you fail to book her in a strong manner. Absolutely pathetic. As far as the men's go, any pick of the litter is fine by me. Ricochet, probably too soon. I see him and the United States Championship getting together at some point. Build him up slowly. Aleister Black, I could see him possibly getting an Intercontinental Championship match if Andrade gets that title from Finn Balor. I could see that happen. But if Andrade is going to be placed in the Money in the Bank, he's my winner. He's my number one guy right there. Aleister Black, I could see him easily as a WWE champion. Who else they got in that match? Lars Sullivan. That's a great opportunity for him to be put in a ring with 6, 7 other guys and completely dominate and show us that he is really the fucking freak. I don't know who else they'll put in that match, but honestly, with the talent that they have on the roster this year, there's no reason why this ladder match, out of all the years in Money in the Bank, we've been seeing Money in the Bank, there's no reason why this shouldn't be the best Money in the Bank ladder match that WWE has ever produced. There's one thing I'm looking forward to most on this show is the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. No question. So hopefully they do it. That predictive fucking bullshit that they did last year, Alexa Bliss cashing in, Braun Strowman, bullshit, completely sucked the energy out of that entire situation. Go into this year with the unpredictability and building a new star. I can only hope that is their priority. But this is WWE after all. We don't know what the fuck they're going to be doing at the end of the day. I know what I want you guys to be doing at the end of the day, man. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Go and get your free trial. 30 days of Audible and one free audiobook of your choice. This is very simple, man. All you got to do is the following. Download the app on your iPhone or Android device. Simple. Then you're going to go through the sign-up process, audibletrial.com/offthescript. Enter your billing information. You will not be billed. Then you got 30 days free of Audible service like that for free. On top of that, once you got the 30 days, Audible is going to give you the option of choosing one free audiobook of your choice. 200,000 choices to choose from, a lot of which are wrestling related. Go and support the podcast for simply listening to me today and get Audible. audibletrial.com/offthescript. The best part is if you don't like Audible service, you can cancel anytime within the 30 days and keep your audiobook for free. You can cancel on day 1. You can cancel on day 30. You get to keep your audiobook for free. audibletrial.com/offthescript. As you guys know, Starrcast is coming up. Double or Nothing weekend. Big weekend for All Elite Wrestling. I hope to be out there. And Conrad Thompson had built Starrcast to be an event that the mentality was, if you were building a wrestling convention, who would you want to see? That was exactly his mentality. So he went out there and got the likes of The Undertaker and Kurt Angle. Now, WWE, I'm sure, has The Undertaker under lock and key. They've always had The Undertaker and that gimmick under lock and key, but he did not have an active performer's contract. He had no contract at all with the WWE. The man was able to do what he wanted. He was able to make as much money as he possibly can, rightfully so, in the years after retirement. He went out and said, I thought I was retired. I thought I was done. So what was going to stop him from sitting down for 3 hours, talking to people like you and me, making $60,000 for 3 hours? That's ridiculous. He should be able to go out there and make as much money as he possibly can. But then The Undertaker was pulled from Starrcast, and WWE said, no more. I don't want you doing these events anymore. Vince was upset. Vince almost had a stroke over it. Not really, but you know what I mean. He was very upset about The Undertaker, the greatest creation of Vince McMahon outside of WrestleMania, was going and mingling with the competition on their biggest weekend of the year. Not really a good look for WWE when you got your fucking biggest acquisition, your biggest fucking name, mingling with everybody from All Elite Wrestling. WWE pulled Undertaker and Kurt Angle from Starrcast 2. Thompson, now, by the way, Starrcast is being run separately from All Elite Wrestling. Bullshit. This is an All Elite association. I would not be surprised that the Khan family is funding whatever the fuck is going on there. There's no way that Conrad Thompson is funding all this and putting all this together on his own. You know for a fact that All Elite Wrestling has everything to do with Starrcast. They go with each other. One is the same. It happened for All In. It's going to happen for Starrcast here for Double or Nothing. I would not be surprised if we have All In 2 in Chicago and they recreate what they did in Chicago last year. Thompson acknowledged that WWE was not happy about his booking of Starrcast 2. He said, I was told it had gotten WWE's attention and that Vince McMahon texted The Undertaker about the appearance. This is what he told Sports Illustrated. Taker's representation, which is a company called Get Engaged, called me to tell me WWE says he can't do it. Thompson says a close friend of his discussed the situation with Vince McMahon, and he was told that there was no heat on Conrad Thompson, but McMahon felt that The Undertaker should not be making appearances outside of WWE. Thompson says that he was assured that the damages would be covered and there would be a suitable replacement or some sort of compromise that made everybody happy. Thompson said that he was told none of the main roster stars would be made available, so he suggested Shawn Michaels as the replacement. Michaels was originally set to be booked for the event, but backed out because of the proximity of Starrcast and AEW. He has yet to hear back from WWE on getting Michaels or anyone to replace The Undertaker. This isn't the first time WWE has intervened on something like this. Taker was scheduled for a Q&A this month in the UK for Inside the Ropes. Taker will fly out to sign autographs, but he is no longer allowed to do the Q&A portion because of his new WWE contract. Now, I understand WWE's stance on this. I really do. I also side with The Undertaker on this because he legitimately thought that he was able to do whatever the fuck he wanted. Now, who's to say to anybody, or from anybody, who's to say to The Undertaker that he can't go out there and make his money? 30 years of service, breaking his body down, and giving us entertainment for all of our childhood. The guy deserves to fucking live happy and comfortable in his life after pro wrestling. If this is his way of making a living, rightfully so, at that price, he deserves every fucking penny of it. He deserves every opportunity to do that. But on the same time, you got WWE, you got Vince McMahon, who is a business who wants to protect his investment. The Undertaker, no matter how old he is, will be WWE forever. I will remember, you will remember The Undertaker forever. Our children will know of The Undertaker and the legacy that is The Undertaker. He will be a lifetime investment for WWE. Taker's kids are going to be making money off what he did. And it's going to repeat every generation. I understand Vince McMahon's logic here. You need to protect your greatest creation. It goes outside of what we originally thought with the gimmick. Years ago, we were never talking about The Undertaker doing public appearances and speaking. You know, I never imagined The Undertaker. We never referred to him as Mark Calloway. I never imagined The Undertaker doing a Q&A, or The Undertaker doing a podcast, or The Undertaker doing a signing. Never mind a fucking podcast. It's physically seeing The Undertaker sitting at a table signing autographs. I never imagined it. And here we are in 2019. All of this shit's happening. Undertaker's on Instagram. Undertaker's on Twitter. I don't know if that was something that he did on his own, but I know for me, if I'm Vince McMahon, I'm fucking looking at this shell-shocked. Like the whole aura of the Undertaker character is just being blown up in the public eye. There's no mystique to it anymore. Done. Absolutely killed. So I can understand Vince McMahon's stand on this, that he wants to keep the Undertaker in that mysterious bubble. He don't want him going out there, making public appearances, speaking on his own behalf, signing autographs, doing Q&As. That's not what we expect out of The Undertaker. We want to hear what he has to say. My God, 30 years of fucking shit that man's been through? There'd be no greater stories in this business. But the fact that The Undertaker is who he is and he's played this character so many years where we didn't know anything about him. I can understand Vince McMahon's stance on this. Normally when I am very upset at WWE, I'm quick to blame Vince McMahon. I can't blame Vince McMahon in this situation. What I do want to know is, I am very curious to know how much Vince McMahon is paying Mark Calloway to not do any Q&As, any signings. The money that this man is making must be enough money to the point where him, his wife, his kids, and their kids could live forever. The fact that he's taking The Undertaker away from doing these things, the amount of money that he's making to not do them by WWE, gotta be astronomical. I'd be fucking curious as all hell to know how much money this guy's making now on his new WWE deal. So, what's the deal that Conrad Thompson had brokered with WWE? Well, apparently, the airing of Bret the Hitman Hart and Tom Magee, that match, that classic match that went in the annals of time without ever being seen. This match was approved for Starrcast for WWE from WWE because they know they were trying to work something out to get a replacement for Angle and The Undertaker. So this is what happened. They got Bret Hart and Tom Magee. They're going to be doing a sit-down talking about their classic, never-before-seen match. And this is what was stated, and I quote, because Conrad obviously signed contracts with these guys, but whatever it is, The Undertaker's deal with WWE came after those things, so it should be honored. But Vince doesn't do, this type of thing. You're not going to be able to fight Vince McMahon on this. The point is, if you wanted to fight him, you could go to court with him forever, and you'll never win. You'll never win with him. But the point is that he's still not coming to the event, so the feeling is that, you had all this anticipation with The Undertaker there. You had all this money spent from fans to come on, and Undertaker was probably a huge draw for Starrcast, for people to go to Vegas, get a hotel room, go to Starrcast, pay the money for a fucking bracelet, which was astronomical in itself. So they needed something to lure people back in and be I'm sorry that this is not going to happen. So Conrad requested that Vince McMahon, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon show up at Starrcast instead, with a promise that all the money that they make go to Connor's cure. Conrad even offered to Conrad even offered to match whatever was raised with his own money, but odds are they aren't going to agree to that. And as of this report, they did not. They said no. So you got to give it to Conrad, man. Even though he is the sly businessman that he is, and he wanted this to be an unbelievable experience for the fans, because he's the one in charge here. The fact that he went out and asked Vince McMahon, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon, and that all the proceeds would go to Connor's cure, and that he would match everything that was made with his own money, man, that's a fucking quality act right there. So, therefore, WWE is letting Starrcast air a Bret Hart versus Tom Magee match from 1986 that nobody in the company likely knows where their copy of the match is because they asked for the recently found copy to be lent to them so they could use it. I believe it's going to be showcased in a huge Q&A with Bret and Tom Magee at Starrcast. So that in itself, man, this match, I've never seen it before. I've never even heard of the match before the recent talk of it a couple of months ago, where the old copy was found. I would be interested in hearing their take on it. I mean, this match has taken on a life of its own. Tom Magee, I believe, from stories that I heard from other people, that Vince McMahon looked at him as the next Hulk Hogan. So I'm very curious to know inside information as to what, he was going through and what he was told about him and his future and what Bret Hart, did and thought of that match. I mean, it's not The Undertaker and Kurt Angle, but it's something that is happening for the first time ever. And I think all the fans of Starrcast should realize that, maybe Starrcast and Conrad were biting off a little bit more than they can chew. And the fact that he did have The Undertaker announced for as long as he did was a success in itself. It was worth a shot. But with that type of talent, The Undertaker is the elite amongst elite amongst elite in the history of this business and forever will be. The fact that he's not there, I think all of you going to Starrcast should understand why he's not there, and you should not be too upset at Conrad. He tried. He replaced it with something that clearly is not going to be on the level of an Undertaker, but he's given you something that is genuinely a first time ever, never happened before. You'll never see it again. So be fortunate that he is doing what he's doing, and he's giving you what he's got right now. Let's end that. So you should not be upset at all about what Conrad is doing and continuing to do with Starrcast. WWE forced to figure out new tag team champions after Jeff Hardy was injured. Dave Meltzer clarified this on the Wrestling Observer Radio, where he said that there are actually two different versions of events surrounding Jeff Hardy's injury status currently. One story says that he is injured and scheduled for surgery, while the other report is saying that Hardy is banged up. Either way, WWE will still need to figure out what to do with the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles. I've heard two different stories, but essentially they have to figure out what they're going to do with the Tag Team Championships. That's what he says, end quote. The Hardys are the current SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions, but with Hardy's injury situation, they most likely will be stripped of the titles. Therefore, the company needs to figure out something to declare new champions. I've said this from day one, back in 2016, I believe, with the draft. And I'm saying it again now, and I feel like I repeat myself every single week. Look at the tag teams on SmackDown Live. You got the Hardys. They clearly cannot defend the titles. You got Heavy Machinery. I haven't seen Heavy Machinery since the shakeup. Where the fuck are they? WWE put as much effort into, the Revival and the Usos and tag teams on Monday Night Raw, the War Raiders, then they should put as much effort into Heavy Machinery as well, because they are an upcoming tag team from NXT, and you want to feature them, and they're too talented to just waste away. I don't want them to become another comedy act on SmackDown Live. You got the Colognes. Might as well be unemployed. You got Gallows and Anderson. They ain't going anywhere. In fact, they might not even be. I don't know if the lights just flickered here. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Got people working upstairs. You got Gallows and Anderson, who will not be on SmackDown Live. I'm predicting that they are not on SmackDown Live moving forward. I believe they're going to be moved to Monday Night Raw, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. But other than that, they moved the B team, or they're planning to move the B team. Apparently, the Superstar Shakeup will continue into next week. So 3 weeks of Superstar Shakeup. Wrestling Observer notes that Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel are set to find themselves on SmackDown Live. The B team will be moving to SmackDown Live. This could also see them being booked as babyfaces if they need to fill that role in the tag team division. It's also noted that Nikki Cross will be on Raw, as previously reported, and her husband, Killian Dane, is likely to be on Raw as well. I don't know about that. I'd move both of them back down to NXT. Or Killian Dane, anyway. I'd move him back down to NXT, and I'd move him to a prominent role in NXT UK. No official word has been made on those moves, but they are reported to be in the works. Now, also, Sheamus, I don't know where he's going to end up. I'm assuming he's going to end up on Raw with Cesaro. No reason to break up the bar whatsoever at this time in their careers. AOP, I could see if AOP is coming back, they go to SmackDown Live because they need tag teams like you wouldn't believe. Bray Wyatt, I put him on Raw. He doesn't have a brand right now. And Fandango, I put him on SmackDown Live. I really would. I believe Tyler Breeze is on Raw, so he might go to Raw, but I would move both of them to SmackDown Live as a pairing. But again, I don't really want that anyway. But Fandango has stated that he wants a serious singles run. I could see him break out on his own on SmackDown Live if. I mean, it sounds easy for me to say because he's fucking talented, but they're not going to use him. So, Fandango, I could probably see go to Monday Night Raw and be back together with Tyler Breeze because WWE doesn't have any fucking creative ideas for these guys. So, that was pretty much it. Now, as far as the tag team titles go, if Jeff and Matt are no longer able to defend the tag team titles, look at your tag team title situation on SmackDown Live. AOP, the B team, Heavy Machinery. The tag team division is not going to be built around AOP and Heavy Machinery. They're not. WWE will not do that. I don't understand why this is so difficult, and I want you to listen to me very carefully. I don't want to repeat myself over and over again, but I feel like I have to. If the Hardys are being stripped of the tag team championships, clearly WWE does not have team. It's not going to make any sense. If I see the fucking Colognes in a scramble match for the tag team titles, I'm going off. What you got to do is easy. You take the SmackDown Live tag team titles, and you have Shane or Vince or Triple H show up on fucking Monday Night Raw with the tag team titles. You simply state, SmackDown Live's tag team division is no more. Look at all the teams that we got via both brands. All you need to do is build an 8-team tournament. And the winner, the finals, are going to be for the vacated, unified tag team championships. I am telling you right now, you might not want the women's divisions to be merged, but I swear to you on my fucking life that if you merge the tag team divisions, it is going to make the both shows, Raw and SmackDown, the overall feeling of both shows that much better. This needs to be done. This needs to be done. No questions asked. I don't give a shit what you do. It's got to be done. I don't give a shit what you say. It's got to be done. This is the best decision right now. That division is fucking garbage. End it all. End it. The neglect that you gave this division is now rearing its ugly head. End it and do what is right by the titles. Tag team wrestling clearly is a thing that we all want to see. There's no reason why NXT has great tag team divisions every single fucking season, and Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live cannot get it right. No reason why these teams, this division should be neglected. Very simple concept. Do it. Dean Malenko. Dean Malenko has quit WWE after 8 years. 8 years! I don't know why. No reason was given, but he's quit after 8 years. Sports Illustrated reported that Dean Malenko has left WWE. No details regarding his departure are available this time. Pro Wrestling Sheet was able to confirm Malenko's departure with their own sources, so he really is gone. It was implied in the article from Sports Illustrated that Malenko would be a great backstage help to AEW. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, this one, that one, this released, WWE Superstar, this one asking for his release, AEW. Everybody does that generic, I do it too, I'm guilty of it, that generic fucking Cody gif, right? That still picture of Cody in the suit, looking all fucking maniacal and businesslike. I know it's a fucking running meme, and I know people are quick to say, all these disgruntled WWE superstars would look good in AEW. Tony Khan says he doesn't want to end up like WCW. AEW also doesn't want to look like a WWE has-been landfill either. So, yeah, some of that might not make sense. But in this case, what does AEW need? AEW's got a damn good fucking talent roster right now with a damn good looking pay-per-view coming up in a couple of weeks. Malenko would absolutely be a perfect fit for All Elite Wrestling. WWE is going through a transitional period backstage, and it looks like a lot of the old guard could be moving out. With the recent exit of Arn Anderson, Road Dogg taking an extended leave of absence, we don't know what's going to happen with him. He says he's going to be taking a vacation, or what I heard from people who know Road Dogg, he's taking a well-deserved vacation. Malenko is the latest name to be added to that list. WWE brought in Sanjay Dutt, Abyss, Shane Helms, Jeff Jarrett in recent months. Dana Warrior is backstage. A lot of change backstage in WWE. This has led to the backstage area being fairly crowded at times. PW Insiders reporting that WWE has been swapping out a lot of the older producers for newer ones on the road. They are being cycled on and off the road. From the looks of it, the more tenured producers are being replaced. There's been a huge influx of new producers brought into the company over the last 6 months, with many of the older producers being cycled on and off the road. Now, there are fears in WWE amongst some that this is start of the old guard being replaced. We'll have to wait and see, but clearly WWE is moving towards a different feel backstage, and this might actually transition to a different feel on television. Whatever the case may be, I don't understand something like this. Number one, I can't say much on this because I don't have any information on it, but it was recently leaked or reported as of this morning before I hit record. one thing that is blatantly obvious is that whatever's going on backstage is not right. The amount of people quitting or being fired or walking away on their own is at ridiculous levels right now. If that doesn't send red flags to someone in WWE or Vince McMahon himself, I don't know what will. I don't know what will. The fact that Dean Malenko was there for 8 years, and Dean Malenko, from what I heard and researched, a lot of people loved the way Dean Malenko put together matches, produced matches. They loved how he worked as a road agent. You're taking the Iceman, Dean Malenko, and you broke him down to fucking nothing, to the point where he quit WWE after 8 years. Why? Why? Someone like that, who's been with the company for almost a decade, simply quits on his own? I don't get that. If that's not enough, if that's not the cherry on top of this fucking diarrhea Sunday that is WWE backstage and the chaos and the fucking the nauseating nature that is WWE backstage behind the scenes, I don't know what is. Now, I don't know why WWE is willing to let guys like this just leave. Why they're so quick to replace the old guard with the new guard. I don't understand that logic. So WWE is either stupid and they don't know what's going on, or they're just fucking stupid. Because Dean Malenko going to AEW is a realistic possibility. You got Tony Khan, who was just interviewed, stating how much of a fan of pro wrestling that he is. And you don't think he's going to sit down and talk to Dean Malenko and bring him into AEW? He went on about Jim Ross. Signing Jim Ross was one of the best things that we did. When you flip the channel, he didn't say what's going on with the TV deal, but to the casual view, when you hear Jim Ross, you're going to be like, whoa, this is Jim Ross. I know this. I'm familiar with this. What is this? That's exactly what he said. Jim Ross, not only his voice being the voice of AEW, Jim Ross, where he probably is more valuable than anything right now, is his mind. You don't think Jim Ross is going to be a backstage supervisor or in a backstage role? Talent relations, or, his mind is not going to be picked apart? Jim, is this right? How do we do this? What do you think on this? You don't think his influence is going to be felt backstage? You already got Billy Gunn. You're going to get Dustin Rhodes eventually when he's done with Cody. Dean Malenko, Arn Anderson. You don't think Cody is looking at these guys to bring into AEW to make their overall quality of match better? The overall vibe in that company better? This is a fucking stupid move by WWE. AEW's got the talent. They will continue to build talent. Where they need help, WWE is seemingly giving them all the help in the world to make their company better. I don't understand it. If I'm looking at this as an outsider looking at it as a fan, I'm more excited about moves like this than I am fucking talent moves. Hopefully we find out what happened with Dean Malenko. That's a shame. But the red flag is up. It's waving. Something's going on. There's no reason why these people are fucking leaving. The problem needs to be just rooted out. You need to examine what the fucking problem is. There's no reason why you have a company and people are backing out and quitting and being released and asking for their release on their own volition. Something is not right. Get someone in there that knows what the fucking problem is and fix it. Talking about fixing, WWE seems to want to ruin everything. WWE might have confirmed SmackDown's 3-hour show without actually saying it. WWE's first quarter financial report, by the way, my dad texted me a couple of days ago. WWE stock was almost $100 a share. He's like, you should have bought it when it was 66. Well, it might be back down at 66 before we even fucking get this video up. Because the stock dropped $15 after their financials were released. There you go. How about all that, you faceless suits and ties? What happened, bro? Huh? What happened? Oh. WWE's got a lot of problems. a lot of problems. TV ain't the only one of them. WWE's first quarter financial report came out this week, and they had a lot of explaining to do. We went over this yesterday on part one. Vince McMahon decided the reason the ratings are down is because of talent absences. No, Vince, there was creative absences every single week. You fucking old fuck. The company is certainly headed towards an interesting change, and it might not be for the best. The company's stock plummeted $15. Things are not looking good, but WWE hopes they will rebound with the Fox TV deal coming up. During the WWE financial call, George Barrios gave a pretty big hint that the company is expecting to stretch their programming by 1 hour. This certainly seemed to add fuel to the fire that are churning concerning adding another hour to SmackDown Live, as Tony Maglio reported. I don't know who this is, but he reported on Twitter. He says this: potential third hour of SmackDown Live on Fox TV. George Barrios said WWE plans to keep monetizing in some way, shape, or form 6 hours of content. Okay, so we know Raw is 3. That was what he said on Twitter. Now, we'll have to wait and see. Listen. Fox bought SmackDown at 2 hours. You keep it at 2 hours. SmackDown at 3 hours is complete overkill. If you want to drive more people away, continue giving them content that they cannot fully consume in one sitting. SmackDown is perfect at 2 hours. You're not going to have anybody going away in 2 hours. 3 hours, look at the ratings drop on Monday Night Raw compared to SmackDown Live. One of the fourth worst in the history of the program, from hour 1 to hour 3. An extra hour of SmackDown Live is not the answer. It's not the answer. It is your job to creatively book the shows that make sense. You do not need an extra hour to get everybody on the fucking show. Again, the NXT mentality. Do what they do and apply it to the fucking roster. And if you can't do it, get help that knows what they're doing. I'm tired of repeating myself. Now, we don't know what this means. We don't know what George Barrios meant by that. I hope that he's fucking wrong. April Fools happened a couple of weeks ago. We don't need to be sitting here with 3 hours on a Friday night. It's bad enough that people aren't even going to be watching SmackDown Live on a Friday night. They'll be out drinking and partying. So we don't know what this means. It could be that new TV show that WWE talked about that's going to be on for an extra hour. That's going to be on FS1. Triple H mentioned that there's going to be a SportsCenter-like show that's going to detail all the works of WWE on Raw, SmackDown, all the news and rumors, injury updates, all that shit. Analyzing the product, storylines and characters and developments and, you know, where the shows are going into major pay-per-views and this and that. Going over NXT. That could be the extra hour that he's talking about. It could be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be SmackDown. I think people are jumping the fucking gun because this is what's being reported and people don't know any better. Adding an extra hour to SmackDown is absolutely a death knell for SmackDown Live. I don't want to hear it. And again, WWE could be adding new television, like I mentioned. PW Insider's reporting that WWE applied for a trademark on WWE Stomping Ground. The name could be implemented in several ways. It could be the name of a television show that Fox is going to be putting on Tuesday nights. We'll have to wait and see what WWE decides to do. They have plenty of trademarks that they aren't necessarily using right now, so there is always room for more. Clearly, it can't be a fucking pay-per-view because they got too many of them. Maybe it is the name of the new show that's going to be on Fox. I don't know. I really don't know. Finally, guys, WWE, before we get out of here, figured I'd end with this because this is the most laughable fucking report I think I'd read all week. WWE in talks with Joey Ryan. Apparently, they want to feel the power of his penis. Joey Ryan's penis has made him a lot of money. It can throw many men across the ring and do plenty of damage in the process. I don't know what it's doing damage to, but clearly it's doing more damage out of the ring than it is in it. His powerful crotch can also withstand an assault from a chainsaw, apparently, but it looks like WWE might want those powers for their own. The Wrestling Observer newsletter is reporting that WWE has been in communication with Joey Ryan. He is now a free agent from Lucha Underground, or he is free from his Lucha Underground contract, but he hasn't signed yet with AEW. He was at All In with the Dick Druids, if you remember that. Did not like that. But to each his own. He's been on Being the Elite. Therefore, WWE contacted him, apparently, according to rumors, to inquire if he has any interest in relocating to Orlando when word got out about his free agency. Ryan was not given an official offer as of this week, but they contacted him after getting word he is a free agent when the word was out that he was let out of his Lucha Underground contract. But they want him to move to Orlando and wrestle for a few years in NXT and then move into a coaching position. It was noted that the feeling is that Joey Ryan's income for what he's doing right now on the indies is far more than an NXT superstar at this stage in his career, and it wouldn't be a wise move for him to make this change. Ryan also owns a home in LA that he was able to buy outright with his indie wrestling earnings. That's a pretty big fucking deal. The fact is that WWE would certainly change Joey Ryan's character, so if he got signed, what the fuck are they going to have him do? I honestly could see the penis thing happening in NXT. I really could. I don't think Triple H is going to be that evil and change what he's pretty much known for. He's a one-trick pony. You know, he's like that band you hear on the radio. One-hit wonder. He's the band on the radio where you hear their one single for fucking 9 years in a row, and you hear nothing else from them. That's Joey Ryan. Literally, every sense of Joey Ryan's gimmick is one trick. So I don't know why WWE want... This is the absolute most pathetic thing I've ever seen. All week, this is the most pathetic story that came out. Why on earth would you want this guy for anything having to do with your program? NXT is the exception because I don't think they would bring him in and ruin him to a point where he's pretty much worthless. They would use him in a comedy skit. I don't know how much he would do in NXT. NXT is a little bit serious. So I don't see Joey Ryan competing for the NXT title. I don't even see him competing against Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream's well beyond that. I honestly don't know what he would do in NXT. But the fact that WWE is interested in him, I should say, is pathetic in its own right because it's like they intentionally want to ruin your livelihood. Yeah, they're going to pay you. Yeah, they want to take you away from everybody else, but is Joey Ryan that big of a name that you need to meddle in his affairs? Is he going to be a make or break for a wrestling promotion? Or do you really just want to scoop everybody up for the sake of scooping everybody up? Then you want to hide the fact that you want Joey Ryan for absolutely no reason. Yeah, we'll give you a coaching position. What if he doesn't want to coach? Joey Ryan doesn't do anything physical anyway. He could wrestle for the next 20 years if he wants to. He's going to age, but his penis is not. You're going to stifle the guy from making money? The guy could be making money for the rest of his life doing what he's doing. You want to take him in and give him a coaching position. Yeah, let me hide the bullshit that we're spewing in a coaching position. It's NXT. Get the fuck out of here, man. Why don't you leave the fucking guy alone and let him do what he's got to do? If he wants Dick Druids out on All Elite Wrestling, fine. But you want this guy to stop doing what he's doing for what? For what? Pathetic. WWE is absolutely fucking pathetic. I would be interested to know who in WWE reached out to him. Any tweets? Heard any interesting rumors lately? And then he posts on Twitter with a shot of his crotch. Joey Ryan is a smart man, I'm sure. He goes to WWE, his career is over. The simple fact that a guy like Joey Ryan made as much money as he can to buy a house in Los Angeles? You don't need WWE money, bro. Just keep doing what you're doing. Whether you like Joey Ryan or not. I'm not a fan of Joey Ryan or what he does. But the simple fact that he's successful with something that is this outlandish and out there and comedic, you got to give it to him. He's obviously doing something right. Clearly, he doesn't need WWE. I'm getting out of here, guys. Thank you so very much for all your support. What a podcast this weekend, man. I got much more news tomorrow, Sunday. I might get something up, if not Monday. I've been on this kick where I've been taking Sunday off for whatever reason. But if I see you guys tomorrow, then you'll know. So we'll see what happens. But I do have news. I got news on Luke Harper. He was denied his release from WWE, and they added 6 months on his contract. Fuck you to Luke Harper, says WWE. Vince didn't want to let Goldust out of his contract. We'll talk about that. I also got a ton of news on Sasha Banks, Daniel Bryan. Sasha Banks, Tony Atlas says WWE doesn't need Sasha Banks. We'll go over that, like I said, Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston, his original opponent for Money in the Bank, and where they want to go with Kofi Kingston at Money in the Bank. All that tomorrow on Off the Script, possibly, if not Monday, guys. Thank you so very much. Follow me on social media, at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. You guys know the deal with Harry's. Harry's.com/script. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. JD's Elite down in the description below. Bonfire.com. Go get your t-shirts today. And if you missed anything that I uploaded previously on the channel, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Off the Script Extra, talking CM Punk and Double or Nothing, and Off the Script yesterday, where we talked about Bray Wyatt's new gimmick possibly being canceled because it doesn't please shareholders and sponsors, man. Thank you guys so very much. I'm getting out of here. And hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you right back here for part 3 of Off the Script. Take care, guys.
When I take action in the greatest plan that ever was, okay? When I take action, I elicit the exact reaction that I anticipate. When you hate, that makes me great. And when you smart mark dumb motherfuckers throw dirt on my name, you only help me grow the zero fucks given tree larger than fucking life.